Friends, this is Recovery Dharma with the Spokane Sangha. My name is Julia. I'm one of the facilitators in our community, and it is my privilege to be here today to guide us in a meditation and a reflection on mindfulness, which is what we have been exploring for the last month of this past month of January. You know, one of the reasons why I wanted to bring forward mindfulness is because we hear about it all the time. It's a very popular concept. It's easy to buy on Etsy. Mindfulness on some distressed barnwood and a nice scroll, and we can hang it on our living room walls and feel it until we actually encounter life, and then we have to practice it, and then we realize, oh my God, I have kind of an empty tool bag when it comes to working mindfulness. I'm not really sure I know how to do it. But the good thing is, there is an ancient teaching called the Satipatthana Sutra that was handed down. We have this legacy of this particular wisdom that helps us really get into the details of mindfulness. So, what I'd like to do as an expression of mindfulness, as an expression and a ritual of practice, we're going to set the intention and the tone for our practice today. And we're going to use this sentiment of metta, and it's just colored and painted. This was made by Lowe. And this one on the back, it reads, may you consider the magnitude of grace holding you. Isn't that beautiful? May you consider the magnitude of grace holding you. Take that in for a moment. Maybe even close your eyes. I'm going to close my eyes and just imagine a magnitude of grace holding you, supporting you, delighted by your presence in this practice right now. Maybe take a deep breath and allow a gentle smile to form across your face. Today, for our mindfulness practice, we're going to continue the conversation and the idea around anchoring in the body, which is one of 4 foundations of mindfulness. The other 3 are anchoring in sensations, emotions, anchoring in thought and the mind, in its capacity to be highly concentrated and its capacity to wander and jump. And the 4th anchoring aspect of mindfulness that we all possess are something called mental formations, mental perceptions, what I like to refer to as stories, the stories we tell. That's one of my favorite things to explore, because one of the habit energies I have is whenever I'm confronted with uncertainty or the unknown of a situation, I have this uncanny ability to fill that empty space, to fill that unknown space with negativity. It's so fascinating. I'm so quick. My mind is so quick to go to the negative. And so I've been working with that part of mindfulness for a long time, not to stop myself from doing that, but to get curious so that I can remember that in spaces of unknown, negative might exist and positive might exist as well, and neutral can appear too. But today we're going to come back to the body. And we're going to have a practice that addresses 5 of 6 body practices. And I'm just going to review them very quickly because I have an intention to bring forward of working with the body, working with these practices when we are triggered or activated. So it begins with the breath. Your breath is a reliable companion, and you can always come back to it. Just take a deep breath. And maybe if a breath can't be deep, maybe your breath is just in the upper chambers of the lungs because for whatever reason stress is presenting in that way. Then the breath is the awareness of, wow, my body is tight. I'm only able to breathe in the upper chambers of my lungs, and that's where I'm at right now. Okay, let's breathe. But maybe if I shift my posture, which is the second aspect of this practice, I might, and bring some awareness to my posture, I might be able to concentrate my effort on the lower aspects of the lobes of my lungs to expand my capacity to breathe. Maybe not, but it's worth some attention and some curiosity. So to activate that, we sit in a way where the spine is straight, the belly is soft, the shoulders are rolled back slightly, and the body is strong and stable. Whether you're sitting down, whether you're lying down, or even if you're in movement. If you are sitting here today, may I invite you to pay attention to your hands, and as a complement to a noble posture for our practice today, keep your hands and your palms facing up. The third part of this practice is to concentrate on the body as a whole living organism and its connection to the whole living organism of the earth and life itself. So just take notice of your whole body as it is right now. And if you can, create a little space in the mind for the miracle that your body is and that you are. And that will bring us to the fourth practice, which is to bring your attention to any specific part of the body that might be a little fuzzy, might be a little tight, might be holding or bracing. If you have a body anything like mine, when I'm stressed or I'm anxious, the bracing that happens in my body is always at the level of my gut. My belly tightens. I sort of hold my breath down there. My diaphragm doesn't get to expand very much. The moment that I'm aware of that and I see it, look at that. Let's just take a deep breath and breathe at the level of the belly so we can just relax that. And I can remind myself that any stress I might have been carrying into this practice, any anxiety I've been holding on to, I can release in this space, in this moment, in this practice. And the fifth aspect to a mindful body practice is something slightly esoteric, and it has to do with the elements, earth, air, fire, and water. Those elements live in your body, according to the sutra, as solidity, mobility, temperature, and fluidity. And rather than go into any detail about it, I simply invite you to pay attention to what comes alive for you. Maybe a single element is coming into your awareness and your attention. Go with it, follow it, get curious. Today, what I would like to apply these practices toward is something in the body that is completely involuntary, and that is your nervous system. There are two aspects to your nervous system that I want to speak to today, and that is the sympathetic nervous system, which is your fight, flight, flee, and fawn response. The sympathetic nervous system is what gets triggered and activated anytime we're stressed or anxious. And those reactions in the body happen beyond your consciousness and beyond your control. It's only when you come into the awareness of it that, oh, wow, look at this. I'm having a sympathetic nervous response. I'm feeling all tight and geared up and ready to fight. Or I'm feeling all geared up and ready to collapse. And that is when we have the other aspect of our nervous system called the parasympathetic nervous system. And this is all about rest and restoration. It is so important, friends, to remember that whatever responses you're experiencing in the body are there for your survival. They are an evolutionary ancestral capacity that you carry in your DNA that has enabled you to survive. Your mother, your grandmother, your father, everything since beginningless time, really. The reason why this is worth bringing forward, however, is that many people on the journey of recovery are beginning to understand and explore trauma. And trauma in the presentation of a chronically alarmed, chronically resistant, and activated and engaged sympathetic nervous system. This is this is an experience where the nervous system hasn't had an opportunity to restore itself. It's just feels like it's in a chronic state of crisis, of alarm, of when is the next shoe going to drop? Oh no, I'm not okay. So when anything gets activated, when any level of discomfort, when any measure of dis-ease arises in the mind or in the body, that sympathetic nervous system is so quick to assign warning, trouble, be careful, oh no. And although the feeling feels really real, it might be a distortion. It might not be. And that's where these practices allow us to drop into the body for a look-see. To go, hey, wait a second, what's really going on here? One of the most tangible examples is anytime we feel threatened about a craving, or if we have a dream that is reminiscent about our substance abuse. Both are very common to the journey of recovery. When we have a craving, the thought comes out of nowhere. The sensation in the body feels like it's arising out of nowhere. It can be upending, it can be destabilizing and really nerve-wracking. All of that is real. Notice the word nerve-wracking. The sympathetic nervous system is on edge. It feels nervous. It's letting you know, hey, warning. Wake up, pay attention to this. But you don't have to assign judgment to it. You don't have to worry that anything is wrong. What you do when encountering a craving is you see it, look at it, breathe, name it, craving, yuck, breathe. Drop into that noble posture and make your noble posture before that craving something strong. I know you, craving, just like the Buddha. I know you, Mara. I know what you're saying. You're very familiar to me. We're doing something different now. And I'm in charge. Keep breathing. Take a look at your whole body. Take a look at the conditions around yourself. Get curious. Why did this craving show up out of nowhere? Is there an interaction that you're nervous about? Is there an interaction you had that didn't go so great? Is boredom skirting the edges of your reality? Just get curious. Come into the body completely. Notice if there's anything happening specifically. Is there any stress or tension in the body? Do you feel a little blah, a little blue? Maybe you feel a little run down and tired. Maybe you're hungry or a little dehydrated. And then take care. Treat yourself as if you have just discovered a wounded puppy or an injured kitten or a stunned bird. Make sure you're warm and comfortable. Your body temperature brings you ease. Make yourself a refreshing beverage, a glass of water or tea. Make sure that your nutrition is well handled in that moment. Really call to mind your capacity to be nurturing. Go outside, breathe fresh air, get your feet on the earth. Find some sunshine if at all possible. And woven through all of this effort, infuse it with the essence of awareness, your awareness, the essence of your concentration, the essence of your intention, and the understanding that you have of yourself. Recognize that you're speaking gently to yourself. You're making these wise choices and actions in your effort because you have made a decision to change the way you live your life. And this, my friends, is a mindful way to approach it. And if you haven't noticed, you've just danced the Noble Eightfold Path. And you have a craving in some paradoxical way to thank for it, because that craving is your wise teacher. That craving is your opportunity to practice the magnitude of grace that is holding you, that you can use to hold yourself. Come back to the breath. May you consider the magnitude of grace holding you. May you consider the magnitude of grace you have already to hold yourself, and by extension, others. This is the gift of grace, and this is the gift of you. So let's bring forward into the light as a representation of all of our wise friends who are out there today in this moment actively using, and they haven't found their way to us. They haven't found their way into the robes of Jizo, the great Japanese bodhisattva of limitless compassion in the hell realms. Let's all be Jizo in this moment and open up our arms wide. Maybe literally open your arms out, close your eyes, keep your palms faced up. May all beings everywhere be safe. May all beings everywhere be held in the limitless powers of loving kindness, compassion, joy, and equanimity. May all beings everywhere acknowledge their wise minds and wise hearts. May all beings everywhere find spaces of healing to become presences for the world. A presence that is loving, that is gentle, forgiving, and whole. Bringing your hands together at heart center. We bow to the Buddha, to the great potential within each of us to awaken to the conditions and causes of suffering within our own lives. We bow to the Dharma, the teachings of the Buddha, that have outlived him for thousands of years, in whom we bring life to these teachings. May they be sources of light and healing. We bow to the Sangha, the community of wise friends, in all the ways we show up, the struggle, the success, the trial, the triumph. It is all welcomed here. You are wise teachers, affording us opportunities to deepen this practice. You have my love, you have my respect, you have my most affectionate care. Thank you for bringing yourselves here and practicing with me today. Namaste.